Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is just going to be a fairly quick update on medicine, and I'm going to talk to you about a couple of things that have changed. So this video is going to be about three things. UCAT, King's College, because I went to an open day, and then which places I'm applying for. Oh, and I'll also briefly mention at the end some work experience that I did and talk about that a bit. Firstly, my UCAT exam was booked for August 30th. Sorry about the lighting, by the way. It's like sunny, but it's in my eyes, I can't see. So it was booked for August 30th, and today is August the 6th or something today. So I basically finished uni like properly at the end of June, and from when my exams finished 10th of May, I had about a week or 2 weeks where I had little to do, but I still had like lectures and stuff. And then I had my dissertation, which took me to, because we have like 10-week terms, it took me to like week 29. And then in the last week obviously was like extras, and loads of people were going over for the summer and stuff, so I was kind of busy in that week, a lot actually. And at the same time I was still working for the uni, doing some content stuff, and then at the end of the extras weeks I did the Instagram takeover, which I don't know if they've put that on their highlights or not, but if they did, I actually was supposed to be at the uni for 8:30 and I woke up at 8:37. So that was extremely stressful. I think it went well in the end, and I worked with this guy called Will, who was very lovely. He works in marketing. I came home, I like went to a festival, I volunteered at Greenpeace, I started driving lessons. I had like a week period where I was really busy, and then the next 2 weeks I was back in Lancaster. I did 3 days at the hospital, then my family came to visit me, then I had a week where I was in the hospital again, and then I moved out of my flat, and so I've just been super busy. On top of that I was volunteering. I then came home, had a week where I was doing loads of driving lessons and just busyness, and also it was really extremely hot, so I couldn't actually do anything. And then on the Monday after that week I had my theory test, so I pretty much revised about the week before. I had my theory test passed, thankfully, and then I went to Edinburgh/Glasgow basically for my holiday of the summer. I went up to Scotland and we went to visit a few places in Scotland, and then I came back on Sunday, and today is Tuesday, and I've already had 2 driving lessons in this time because I'm really cramming them in. But yesterday, like, my plan was like, when I come back I'll just like bang out UCAT, but I went on Medify. I bought Medify, by the way, and it's just told me I had 25 days left, and I was like, oh, that's really like probably is doable. But yeah, I don't know, I just felt really stressed, and I went to I actually bought a while ago a like full day course off Medic Portal. I don't know if you've ever seen that before, but it's basically like 9 to 5 or 9 to 4, whatever you go. It's in one of their offices, and they go through each section. I was just taught by a 4th or 5th year King's medical student who works for them, and he obviously had probably done very well in his UCAT, and he basically went through it, and they went through all the sections. We did examples under time conditions. You got to ask any questions, and I found it really helpful. I can't remember how much it cost, so I don't know if it was worth the money, because it was not cheap. It was good for me because I feel like, because I'm not at school, I don't have anyone supporting me through my application or anything. I can only go like off advice that like my friends and stuff give me and things like that. So I sometimes feel really lost about everything, and I worry I'm gonna do something really wrong. So it was good literally to have someone like explain each section exactly how it is. I could ask every question, I knew exactly how it was gonna be. I just did my theory test in the same location, so I know exactly where it is, that I'm gonna do it. Yeah, and I already have an idea of which sections I'm stronger at and which sections I'm weaker at, But I just thought 25 days wasn't enough, so I basically refunded that one and rebooked it for the 26th of September, which is much further away. And I figured that in September, like, it basically gives me a lot more time to do things, to learn to drive, and hopefully even pass, ideally, before I go back to uni, but I don't know about that. but you know, it gives me time to see my friends, to do things, because otherwise I literally had a month where I would have to do a lot of work, and now instead of having 4 weeks, probably around the 6-week mark, that's when I'll probably start, even though I'm planning to do a little bit every day. And in September, because Lancaster starts back so late, usually all my friends go to uni like 2-3 weeks before I go to uni, so I don't think that will be a problem, to be honest. And I'm moving in September, the start of September, so I can literally just book a train, take my suitcase back up. I won't need to like get moved in near Freshers Week, which is good for me. Well, yeah, but the only thing is then I have a bit less time to do my personal statement, because I probably won't start it until after the exam, because I won't know fully where I'm going to apply yet. So let's talk about that a bit. But in terms of UCAT, that's sort of what I'm doing. I have the book. I got a book when I went to Medic Portal, but I'm mostly using Medify to use the time conditions, and I don't know, I like seeing the stats and stuff like that. So that's what I'm using at the moment. I'm also in a Facebook chat, which I got into via a website called the Medic Blog, I think is what it's called. It's a really good website, it has loads of stuff, so I'd recommend that if you're also going to be sitting your UCAT. I'm not doing any BMAT or GAMSAT or anything else, because I just can't. I don't know, like the unis I want to go to a lot, they want UCAT, and there are other unis I would quite like to go to that might want BMAT or GAMSAT or whatever, but it's just like, I can't, like, it's too much money and it's too complicated. But I'm going to talk about where I'm planning and stuff like that. So I went to the King's open day and I loved it so much. I didn't think I was going to like King's as much as I did. I always thought, like, so I live in like East London, so Queen Mary University of London is my closest one, like medical school, and I also do know somebody who goes there, so I've always thought like I would really like to go there. For some reason I thought King's was just like really far, because I know obviously they have the campus in Holborn, that was the one I was like aware of on the Strand, but then their Guy's campus, which is this where the medical school and all of that is based, is near like London Bridge, which is actually not that far from Stratford, and I live close to Stratford, so I don't know, like it seems like a more commutable distance. But when I went there, so I really liked it. I did speak to some, so I basically spoke to the graduate entry admissions tutor, and she was like, there's like 30 places but they get like 10,000 applications or something like ridiculous. And I was just like, and I was just thinking, like, you know, I spoke to some people, and basically the gist of what I got is you won't get in unless you have, you won't get into Queen Mary's unless you have a PhD, because they do a point system based on how many degrees you have. So they again only have like 30 places. They take those 30 people, and they all tend to have PhDs, at least masters. I'm not on an integrated course, anything like that. I'm just on a bachelor's course. And then I spoke to the woman at the admissions tutor for graduate, and she basically said you just need to have a really high UCAT score, and I think that still remains true for the unis that I'm going to apply to. But I was just like, oh, I really want to do it. And everyone was like, oh, you should apply for the undergrad. And I was like, the undergrad medicine course, you don't get any tuition fee loan, you get maintenance loan, whereas for the graduate you only have to fund £3,000 in your first year, you get the loan. So I was just confused about how people fund it, but I kept meeting people who they'd done undergrad medicine as a second degree, and I was like, how are you guys all funding it? Like, are you rich? I didn't understand. And then I got in touch with my friend, and she knows people on her course who are doing undergrad dentistry. She does dentistry at Queen Mary, and she got me in touch with someone who's doing medicine second degree but did an undergrad option. And basically from speaking to them, I really got a gist that I would be able to afford it. So the way that I figured it out was by using my maintenance loan, by using some money from my parents, around the amount of money that they give me for rent currently, but if I move back in home, and then also getting a job part-time. And obviously, like, I do work odd shifts and stuff like that. I don't have a lot of consistent work. My plan next year is to get about a 10-hour a week job. I will also have less contact hours in third year than in second year. Help to save. I do already have some money in savings, but obviously this driving is kind of costing me a lot of money. Yeah, and basically hopefully getting a job part-time, definitely that I can do it, you know, over Christmas and stuff, because that does seem doable. And also if I'm doing the undergrad, it won't be as accelerated, so hopefully there'll be a lot more that's familiar to me and it'll be a bit slower. I mean, we'll have to see. But I figured that for Kings and Queen Mary, that if I lived at home, only if I lived at home, I would be able to finance it. If I was to move out, I would definitely not be able to afford it. So the plan is obviously to live at home at least for a couple of years, work, see how much I can save, and then figure out rent. And then obviously hopefully by then maybe I'll know people that I could live with. Obviously Queen Mary would be better because I could live further out and it would be cheaper, but you know. Anyway, so my plan is that for those London unis where I can live at home, I'll apply for the undergraduate, and for the other unis, such as the graduate courses that I plan to apply to, I will move out. So I ideally, like I said, those two are the ones that I really, really want to get into, and I've done the most research on, and they both really take UCAT really important. So it's another reason why I pushed it back, because they really depend on that. But I think I'm still going to apply to Warwick. The only thing with Warwick is their work experience quota, because I haven't, as you guys know, I volunteer at the hospital, but obviously that entering a massive gap over summer, and I don't know if it's clinical enough for them. Like, it is literally a geriatric rehabilitation ward, but I don't often help them drink, or this is kind of the idea that I got, like, help them drink or care for them, because it's all like when we sign up for the role, it's like be independent, supporting them, but don't do things for them and stuff like that. And it's more of like a pastoral role of like talking to people and stuff, but you do get a really good idea about how the wards are and stuff like that, and hospitals in general. So yeah, so I'm not 100% decided, but basically it's somewhere between Warwick, Southampton and Birmingham, and they're all like about an hour and a half away from London, but those are the ones that I'm thinking of. I'm not decided yet. I don't know if I only got offers from them and I didn't get offers from Queen Mary and Kings, if I would actually go or if I would reapply next year. So from speaking on my work experience, I got to speak to a lot of FY1s and FY2s and younger doctors, and one of them went to Warwick and he advised me that if I didn't get in, to actually do a master's, because having the master's will help you a lot. So he did pharmacology, and then he did a master's in pharmaceuticals or something like that. And I was thinking, when I went to King's, I did actually go with my friend, and she was looking at doing a nutrition master's, and then I was thinking, well, you know, what if I didn't get in, but then I could apply. By the way, the UCAT deadline's in October, and then the master's deadline is like ages later. So hopefully by the time I get my responses, I'll sort of know to apply to a master's or not. You know, something like nutrition, which does for a fact interest me, obviously. It would also be relevant, and then I could have a whole master's that would then boost my application. But I'm not sure if I'll do that, or if I would take a year out, or if I wouldn't take a year out. Maybe by then I'll feel sick of all of this and I'll decide to do a different career path. I don't know if I'm the kind of person that will just keep applying until I get in or not. Like, I think it's just too early to say, and when you think about the big picture, like, oh, what if I don't get in or whatever, it's really overwhelming. So at the moment I'm just trying to think about my UCAT only, but I just thought I'd update you on some thoughts that I'd been having about that and stuff, and it's just really complicated. But like, for example, if I did take a year out, maybe I would also do BMAT and then I would apply to UCL. Maybe I'd also do GAMSAT and then I would apply to St George's. I don't really know at the moment. I just know what I'm doing for this round of application. Hopefully I get in. Like, I'm very, very conscious of the fact that I might not get in, and that's fine. But I'm just going to try my best. But I think applying to the undergrad, oh yeah, so King's, for example, has recently expanded their medical school. They take around 500 students now or something, so I have a way better chance of getting in, and then my competition for that will mostly not be graduates like it would be for graduate entry with more degrees than me. It would be a lot of sixth form students and stuff like that. I feel bad because it's like, you know, but then I don't know, they'll probably a lot of them probably still get in. But yeah, so at my work experience I did 3 days in rheumatology, but I also was spread around into other departments, like ACU and AMU and stuff like that, and that was quite good. But then my second week I did in microbiology and sort of pathology in general wasn't as useful, because like I went up to the biomed labs and it's like, yes, I know exactly what this is. We literally had biomedical scientists come in and they gave us like urine and saliva samples, and then we had to go in one place and then try to identify what had grown. So it was like, this isn't really useful to me because I'm not going to be a biomedical scientist. I mean, I was more interested in the medical side. I didn't really get to see any patients, which was kind of disappointing. There's a lot of admin going on. Obviously, like, we would look through patients and discuss their case. Well, not that I could add anything. Talk about their cases and things. And it was interesting looking at antibiotics and infections and things like that. But that I didn't get as much. Whereas in rheumatology, I got to sit in on clinics and I got to go and see patients on wards and see like doctors interviewing them. And I got to speak to a lot of consultants and a lot of FY1s and FY2s, which was really, really useful. So that was definitely good. But in terms of clinical experience, I feel like I've kind of got that together, and I need my more hospitality experience, which obviously is, I'll just continue my volunteering a lot since I go back to Lancaster, and I will continue that. I just feel a bit stressed because I can't talk about any of my third year modules in my application because the deadline is literally October 15th and we start like October the 13th or something. Like, we literally, the week that is due is our first week of lectures, I'm pretty sure, or we've had 1 week. So I can't be like, oh, I've done this module, Science of Aging, because that module is in the second term. Do you know what I mean, of third year? So I can only talk about the ones I've done so far, and the only really like impressive sounding ones are medical microbiology, anatomy and tissue structure, maybe like, I don't even know, like I don't know how I'm gonna really broach that, but yeah, it's stressful to think about. And then obviously my reference and stuff, I don't know whether to ask my tutor or my dissertation supervisor. Oh, obviously I can talk about my dissertation a lot because that is kind of relevant. I did like a whole literature review, and I had a massive section about healthcare associated infections and blah blah blah. So I can talk about all of that. That's another thing that's mildly stressing me out because I haven't written it, and I know it's due week 9 of Michaelmas, but I don't know, it's just like sitting there, and I know that some people have started to write them, and I literally like did not the best lit review ever, and the whole methods discussion. I guess the lit review is the hardest part, and I've done that, like the bulk of that, and the results and all of that isn't so bad. I feel more confident about writing, you know, the methods, but it's just that I'm worried I'm gonna forget it, and oh, it's just stressful. But then I did speak to somebody and they said that literally everyone gets A's in them, so, and it is 30 credits, so it'd be great if I did get an A in that and help boost my grades. But anyway, I think that's pretty much everything. This video hasn't been quite as short as I expected it to be. I've just been blabbering on. But the video that should have gone up before this was a Q&A about Lancaster and stuff like that. So I'm planning to do a Q&A specifically about medicine and stuff. I don't know if I have enough followers who are interested in this part of the journey, which is fine. So maybe just either follow me on Instagram, which I'll put the name here. Actually, I won't do that because I am so bad at editing, it will stress me out. Follow me on Instagram, and please leave any comments and questions. If I get enough, I'll do like the fourth installment, or third installment, fourth installment will be like a Q&A. I think the next time I'll probably film a med update video will be closer to my UCAT exam. Probably film a bit before and after, obviously not during, and talk about how that went at my school and stuff like that. And if I do okay, then I can talk about what I use, but I feel a bit, I don't want to say now because I haven't really figured it out and I do have quite a while to go. And then probably the next time after that will be once I've actually applied, which would be insane. And then with my interviews and stuff like that, I'll talk about them. Anyway, I've talked about a lot of things, and I hope this has been interesting. Please let me know. I've started to follow a few people who are going to medical school in October, especially graduates, and if you are also, you know, going to be applying then, and you're going to be documenting it, I'd love to also follow on and see. So just let me know, comment and stuff like that, or message me on Instagram and stuff. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was somewhat useful. I'll see you next time. Bye.